Dazzle here with another vintage haul from the flea market. The jewelry buys were a little crazy. Uh, I didn't find any Native American or Mexican silver. In fact, I don't think I bought any sterling silver at all. No art, well, there might be some art deco in there, but I don't think I bought any silver. It was mostly all costume jewelry and some unusual finds, but I went with what I could find. And yeah, so let me just get started. Oh, I do have a couple garage sale finds too to show you, but I'll show you the jewelry first. This is an Edwardian little engraved bow. I believe it's brass, and it's got a C clasp, and I think I paid $4. It's been a few days, so I'm gonna be a little hazy on the prices, but I think I paid $4. It was in a lot of things that I bought together and it worked out to $4 a piece. And then this is a Tibetan, probably, necklace with agate. And I believe I probably paid $10 for that, which is quite a bit. But this Tibetan jewelry seems to do really well. That's a really pretty one. And then I got this. I'm not really sure how old this is. It's a Victorian style, and look at that beautiful book chain. And I think it might be a revival piece, but I'm not sure. It's really neat, and I paid $15 for that. It seems to be in pretty good shape. I don't think it has any missing stones. And then this, I think, is silver plated. It's pretty heavy, and I just like the way it moves and the way it feels. It's got a hook, and it's got some age to it. I'm not really sure, but just thought it was a cool look. And that, I think I paid $4 for that. And then got some copper. This is copper modernist mid-century jewelry. It's not marked. It looks a lot like Renoir Matisse, but I don't know that it is. Sometimes you can find the Renoir Matisse unmarked, and then if you could just match the design to one that is known. But I'm not familiar with this design, so I don't know, but I believe I paid $3 for the bracelet and earrings together. And then this is a Sarah Coventry piece. But I just thought it was interesting. I love the colors. They're so bright. And I paid $2 for that one, I think. And this is really neat. This is very early 20th century. It's got a date on it. I love it when things have date on it. It's either 1902 or 1904. I couldn't quite tell. But this is like, it's a stretch bracelet, but it doesn't stretch. It just kind of slips on. You have to have a pretty small hand to wear it, because I have small hands. And it's a bit of a squeeze for me to get it on, but I just love the look at it. It has a Victorian look to it. And I think that was one of the $4 ones. And a little painted or enamel 1960s flower. And that was $4. The enamel's in really nice shape. It's always nice when you can find them that they're not all chipped up. And let's see, this is just a really nice, wide, chunky link bracelet. It's got the 2 clasps on it, which is an older way to do things. I think this is a mid-century piece. It's got some wear on the back, but the front looks pretty darn good. And I think that was a $4 one. And this is an old Coro piece. This is pre-1955. It's got the, what do they call this? Heater, stove, oh, I can't remember. I'll have to write it in. I can't remember what you call this kind of chain. But then it's got this slider on it. I have sold one almost exactly like this, but it had a different color stones. And that was in the $4 lot, as was this one. It's a nice copper, really long, kind of a brick link. And this rhinestone brooch of a tall ship. And I just had to have this because I was so intrigued by the fact that it's not missing a single stone. Usually the ones like this they're missing stones and the glue is all yellowed, and this one's in really nice shape. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it's marked. No. And I got some Art Deco 1930s, more buckles. I don't know why I keep buying these, because they're not like flying off the shelves. I sell one every once in a while. But I just loved them. Look how Art Deco that is, in such pretty colors. And it goes, oops. I know I had it apart earlier. Okay, well, I won't mess with it for now. But you can see the back's all rusted. But the front looks very nice, and I'm sure it still works. And then this is another, oops, let's get it right. Another Art Deco two-piece enamel. You can see the back's really old on that one too. And all these were $4 a piece. And then this is a Bakelite feather pen. Really pretty. I like the very subtle change of color in that. And then I got another, I think this is Bakelite buckle. Needs to be cleaned up a little, but it's pretty neat. And I do believe that is all of the jewelry. So, yeah, not as much. I don't know what the deal was. I just couldn't find any affordable turquoise. I hope it's not drying up on me, because it's one of my favorite things to buy and sell. Okay, let me show you the couple things I got. I said it was a garage sale, but no, it was Goodwill. I got this at Goodwill. It's a mosaic dish from the 1950s or 60s, and I like the colors on this one. And this was $1.99, I think is what she charged me. And the other thing I got were some brass napkin rings in this little fitted case. I don't know where these were made. I haven't looked at them very closely to see if they're marked inside. I don't see anything. There's a very good chance they came from Japan or China. Mid-century. They do have some oxidation on them. I'm going to have to work on cleaning them up. And they were $6, which is probably a little bit much. But I'm sort of a sucker for anything that comes in these fitted boxes. It just looks so nice. Okay, and then the rest of this is still flea market stuff. This is my second piece of Barro Negro pottery from Mexico. It was very funny. I bought, at the last flea market, I bought a box, like a cigarette box, with this same little geometric pattern on it. And I looked and looked and looked and looked, and I really couldn't find anything. And then I finally found one piece. I just found, that was the only example. And then at the flea market, I started seeing it all over the place. So I don't know. But anyway, I had this little frog. And he was $2.50. And at the same time, I bought this fan, which is a lovely Asian celluloid fan. I think this is a pretty old one. I think this is probably maybe from the 1920s or earlier. really fancy one. I saw the prices were kind of all over the place on these, but I didn't see many that were fancy like this. And so I paid $2.50 for that, and I'm thinking I can possibly charge quite a bit for that. I'm not sure. A little more research needed. And I got this little trinket box. It is brass, but I believe it was once very thinly silver plated and is mostly worn off. But you can see it still has the silver on the bottom and on the inside. It has a mirror on the inside. And then of course it has this lovely hand-painted bird design on mother of pearl. And that was $5. I think this is a pretty old piece. I've sold a lot of pendants with this type of design on it. They seem to be pretty collectible, but I've never sold anything besides a pendant, so I guess maybe I've sold a brooch or two. This is an odd thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is. It looks like a boat to me, but then my husband said, oh, it looks like some kind of presser. And it's really, really, I mean, the wood on this is just so smooth. It's just like satin. Really don't know what it is, but I paid, what did I pay for this? I think I paid $7 or $8. I'm not for sure on that. And then also got this fish. And I found out that he is from some islands, and now I've forgotten the name of the islands. Nope, it's not going to come. But they're part of Papua New Guinea. So this is, I was really glad I was able to figure out. It's a very distinctive style. It's got little mother of pearl inlays. And I think this is a fairly old example. It does have a little break right there. I don't know what was on the end of that. But he's got inset shells on his eyes. And I think I also paid $8 for that. Something in that range. Got another nice wood box. This is a nice older one. Has a lock. Unfortunately, the lock doesn't seem to work. The key turns and it feels like it's locking, but then it doesn't lock. So I don't know what's wrong, but it's nice. It's got a little brass plate there for engraving, which has not been engraved. So and that was only $5. And it's mahogany, and it's a nice old one. It's 19th century, I would say. And this is a bit of an odd purchase for me, but I bought a flute. And I believe I paid $10 for that. It says $18. But I asked the guy if it was complete, and he said he didn't know, and so I wasn't going to buy it. And then he said, well, how much would you pay for it? And I said, well, because if it's not complete, I don't think I can even sell it at all. So I told him $10, and he said, okay, so I took it. And some of these, the brand is Artley, and some of these sell for quite a bit of money. So I'm going to have to, first of all, figure out if it's complete, if it's playable. It looks like maybe it does have some condition issues, but it might be worth having it refurbished because I just need to find out more about it. But could be good, could be. I don't know. I got this Art Nouveau hand mirror, and it is a genuine old antique from the early 20th century probably. It's got some beautiful flowers on it, and it has a name, which is, I believe, T. Hope Silver Company. It is plated, but it's nice. I paid $8 for that. And I had to get this carved box because I just love boxes. And it's a little bit distressed on the inside, but I paid $5 for that. Let's see. Doesn't look like it has dovetail corners or anything, but it does look nicely made. I've seen this kind of carving somewhere before. I'll have to figure out where it's from. It used to have a label on it. It might be from India, not sure. And here is a mysterious item that I have not figured out what it is yet. I had two different people give me the opinion that they thought it was African, but nobody really knows what it is. And the guy who sold it to me was telling me it was some kind of hunting ball, but I'm like, I don't think you would make a hunting ball with all these little semi-precious stones embedded in it. But it might be, a decorative version of something more utilitarian. I really don't know. But it's got all these little stones. And each one I think is different, or at least there's a lot of different ones. There may be some repeats, but there's just all different kinds of stones in there. And the cool thing is I got two of them. Yay! And I paid $19 for the two of them. Yes, I was managed to, with my wily bargaining powers, get a whole $1 off. It's one of those days. Let's see. Got some brass clothes hooks like this. They have the porcelain end to them, and that they came with all of their hardware. I don't think they're super old because the screws are Phillips head, but those could have been added later. If they look old, I don't know. But anyway, I paid $5 for 4 of them, which is a very good price, even if they're not old, because they are brass, and they're nice. I got this absolutely gorgeous art glass vase. It is signed. Unfortunately, I cannot read the signature. I don't know what it says. It looks like it begins with a B. It looks like it's something like Buglin or I don't know. Probably can't see it. It's right there. But, it is a signed art glass vase. It's really nice. I just love it. And it was a whole $1. Can't really go wrong with that. And I got some of these, what are they, Royal Copenhagen? Yeah, Royal Copenhagen miniature plates, which I have sold in the past, but these have really come down in value. I paid full price for them thinking, it was going to be a great deal, and it's really not. So, yeah, I can maybe sell the 6 of them for 20 or 25, something like that. I got this bowl because it was free. Somebody was throwing it away because they broke it. But I thought it was really pretty and I can use it for mosaic. Or even, I could put a little dish garden in it. Wouldn't that look cute with like some little cactuses and stuff in it? I don't know. I mean, the chips are not that bad. This is a pretty interesting piece. This is one of those Victorian, turn of the century souvenir cups. It's either silver plated or pewter. I haven't been able to find out very much about this company that says Roland München, which is Munich. I don't know if it was made in Germany or what. But it has this president on here who is President Kruger, who was apparently a very controversial South African president in the late part of the 19th century. And there's some, coat of arms and some buildings and stuff on here. I can't imagine this is super common because how many people actually were tourists in South Africa? It was very, very hard to get to South Africa back then. I was just watching a TV show about the Windsors, and they talked about in the 1940s, right after World War II, the royal family made a trip to South Africa, and it took them 3 weeks by ship to get there. So, it was, anyway, I thought it was interesting, and, I've forgotten what I paid for it, but it wasn't much, maybe $4 or $5. So we'll see. I got a couple of harmonicas. This is a butterfly harmonica. I believe it was made by the company that became Yamaha in the 1930s. It's a pretty big one. I found some similar examples, but none that were exactly like this. And it's in, the box is just in super, super condition. It says real brass plates and covers in the key of A. And I paid $7.50 for that. And then I got a Coke chromatic. This one also is in the 1930s. This one is really neat because it has a little lever on it that changes the key. I did watch this before I put my mouth on it, but pretty cool, huh? Now I'll have to wash it again before I sell it. But anyway, it's in really, really good condition, and it's a nice, clean box. Prices on these are just all over the place, so I don't really know. I'll do okay on it, but maybe not great. And this I got for free. My dealer friend said, I'm getting out of the book business. If you want that book, just take it. And it's kind of neat. It's called The Herbalist, and it was published in 1934. And it's got all these really nice botanical little miniature plates in it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful book. And so clean and neat. And was apparently very popular because there's a lot of them out there. So they don't sell for a whole lot. It's very tempting to keep it because it's so cute. Yeah, anyway. Can't forget this. This is a bird lithograph. It's Pamela's hummingbird. It is by John Gould, who's, besides Audubon, one of the best known bird painters ever. And again, the prices on these are all over the place, and it just depends on who printed it and when. But I think it might be, there's the back. You can see it's pretty old, and it's in really good shape. The frame's in really good shape. I paid $10 for it, and I think it could be worth a little bit of money. People love hummingbird prints above any of the others. And I saw some that were selling in the hundreds, and then I saw others that were selling for like $25, $35, so I don't know. But I do believe I have shown you everything. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and comment if you care to. I do try to respond to all comments. And if you are interested in any of my stuff, you can check it out in my Etsy shop at vintagedazz.etsy.com. I put the link in the drop-down description box so you can find it. Also sometimes sell on eBay, where my handle is Carol Lennox, and that link is down there also. And I think that's all I have to tell you. I don't have a muffin today, sorry.